Oh gosh, I'm so emotional about this. It touched a chord. Dirt bikes are literally one of the best ways we can spend family time. What's going on, everybody? Every once in a while I get an email from somebody that really kind of strikes a chord, and I wanted to share that with you, okay? So today's email comes from Ammon. I promised him that I wouldn't use his last name, but I did ask if it's okay if I read his email. He says, "Hey Kyle, longtime viewer here. I do have a question. I'm entering my first year of college this fall, and I was wondering if it would be smart to get a KTM 300 XCW while in school. Like that video you posted earlier, I had to sell my dirt bike to put some money towards school, and my parents won't buy me one because I'm too old, LOL. I figured I could take out a loan and maybe just make payments, but I'm also thinking about getting a truck, and I have to pay for college on my own, so I'm not sure what to do. Single track is really the only thing me and my dad do besides fishing every now and then, and I don't want to miss out on riding time with him because I am in school. Not sure if you have any advice or anything that helps. Also wondering if I should get a used bike and what's a good hours and price ratio to go with, or how many hours is too many. Thank you for your time, and keep up the great work." Hey, before I get all emotional and break down answering this email, I want you to know that you can enter to win that bike right behind me. That's Stark Varg. If you click the link right down here and you order anything off my website or Rocky Mountain ATV, you're automatically entered to win that bike, as long as you do it before the end of July here in 2024. So click the link down there, visit my website, dirtbikechannel.com, and get automatically entered to win that sucker, because somebody's got to win it. Okay, here we go. Ammon, this sport is expensive and my heart goes out to you. Most of the people that I've talked to, most of the people that email me are people who used to ride when they were kids, and then when life hits and when college hits and when they're starting families and things, money is tight. And it's very difficult to actually keep up in this sport because it's expensive. The bikes are expensive, the gear is expensive. And sometimes, in fact, a lot of times, the finances just don't work. And you're not in bad company, you're in great company, because most people are like this. Most of the guys that I've talked to that email me are somewhere between 30 and 65, and they are now just getting back to the point where they can have enough disposable income where they can actually do this again. And so they're coming back to me and they're asking for advice. And they're saying, "Hey, what boot should I buy? And what motorcycle should I buy?" And they have all of these questions. Sorry, they're literally cutting cement right beside me as soon as I started doing this video. But I'm just gonna power through this because I think it's important and I just wanna go with this. Ammon, it's okay. You don't have to have a dirt bike right now. Everybody's situation is different, and I'm not giving financial advice, but I don't think it's a financially sound decision to go out there and make payments on a motorcycle, a dirt bike, when you're in college, especially when you don't have a truck. There's a time and a place for everything, and unfortunately, in a lot of situations, you're not gonna have money to do all of the things that you want. And I know it's important for you to spend that time with your dad, but maybe you're just gonna have to do a few more fishing trips like you said in your email, things that make sense monetarily and financially right now. I know it's amazing to be spending time with your dad and spending time with your family, doing this thing that you love, but this may not be the time and the season for that thing. And that's totally okay. That doesn't mean that you don't love your dad, and it doesn't mean that fathers don't love their kids when they say, "Hey, I can't keep you in bikes anymore." It's just the season of life that we're in. I may end up in that season of life. I know that I was in that season of life before where I couldn't afford it, and I may be in a season of life here real soon when I can't afford to keep my kids in bikes. I hope that it isn't like that, and I hope that we'll be able to keep DBC rolling in such a way that we won't have that gap in riding with me and my boys, but we might, life hits, and it's very difficult to predict any of this stuff. So motorcycles and dirt bikes have been amazing to me, and they've been amazing to me and my family, and I've loved the things that they've done, like the messages that they've instilled in my children, in my boys especially, who've been able to go out and go riding with me. And even just over the weekend, we did a little camping trip. We didn't have a bunch of great riding, but there was one time we went on a little bit of a ride and up in the mountains, and I hadn't been on a ride with both of my boys for a long time. And gosh, I was so proud of them. Like, one of my sons has done a lot of racing recently in motocross, and he's doing amazing. And then I've got another son who has barely even ridden his KTM 85, which is just outside of the picture. And gosh, he's fast. He's fast and he's good. And I don't have to worry about him. And he was blowing down this, these dirt roads up in the mountains and going so fast. Like we had some other family members with us on a Razor. The person on the Razor had no chance keeping up with me and my two boys. And they're just bombers and they're good. And we don't do it super competitively. Only one of the sons even races. But I felt so good about the time that we spent together just on the mountain this last weekend. And I don't know why I'm so emotional, but you, Ammon, I commend you for wanting to spend time with your dad on these bikes. But it's okay if you can't do it right now. Work your butt off. Get good grades, get a good job, and let's work back to this. Let's work back to dirt bikes. But in the meantime, find something else you can do with them, with your dad. And these things have changed the lives of so many people, and it's probably changed yours. Oh gosh, I'm so emotional about this. It touched a chord. Family time's important, and dirt bikes are literally one of the best ways we can spend family time. And literally, I could go out there and I could strangle that guy on that cement saw right now. But I'm just letting this thing roll. This is real, and this is raw. I love dirt bikes. I love what they've done for me and for my family. And thank you for emailing and expressing what it means to you, Ammon. Probably a lot of you have already left the video, but I do want to just kind of close this thing out. The cement saw stopped. But I am going to keep that other thing in there. I get emotional when I talk about dirt bikes, and I get emotional when I talk about families and fathers and sons and relationships, because it means a lot to me. This sport changed my life, and it's changed a lot of your lives. And so much of what this does to us is it helps us get in better physical shape. And to be honest, it helps us get in better mental shape. It's self-care. It's emotional care. It's emotional release. It's releasing pent-up frustration and energy and all of those things. We have so many pressures against us, and sometimes we just need the self-care of getting out there in the desert or the mountains or the moto track or whatever and blowing off some of that steam. And that's important, and we don't talk about it enough. Like as men, especially as men, we don't have a lot of emotional releases, and we haven't been taught how to express those emotions or to do any of that kind of stuff in a healthy way. And dirt bikes are one of those ways that we can naturally get out there and process some of those emotions and some of that anger and some of that frustration and some of that shame. That's why this is so important. That's one of the reasons why this is so important. And so I just want to thank all the people that have reached out to me. As I've been a single father, this has been harder and harder and harder. The pressures are staggering to try to make Kyle, get a grip, to try to make this work. And I don't know how much longer I can make this work in this current capacity, but I wanted to thank anybody out there who supported this sucker. Holy cow, I'm in your debt. And that's when the emotions come. Anyway, please get the help that you need. Please get the throttle therapy that you need. And please hold on to your loved ones and enjoy the time that you have with them. If you don't have the money to ride dirt bikes with them, find something else to do with them. If you do have the money to ride, go out there, ride, enjoy it. Don't fight with each other, just enjoy the entire process. And these bikes are amazing. I'm just going to end this sucker. Leave a single track. Thanks.